My name is Kathy, and I thought I'd share my story with you. It all started a few years ago when I met the love of my life, Adam. Allow me to take you back to those enchanting early days. I was at a friend's party, feeling a little out of place amidst the lively crowd. As I wandered around, I noticed a man with a mischievous smile, his eyes twinkling with a hint of adventure. That man was Adam, and little did I know, our lives were about to intertwine in the most extraordinary way. Adam approached me, his confidence radiating as he struck up a conversation. We shared laughter, stories, and dreams, losing track of time as the party faded into the background. It was as if we were the only two people in the room. "Hey, I couldn't help but notice your smile from across the room. Mind if I join you?" Adam's voice held a playful tone as he took a seat beside me. "Not at all," I replied, feeling a warm blush creeping up my cheeks. "I'm Kathy, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Kathy. I'm Adam." He extended his hand and I shook it, feeling an electric connection in that simple touch. As we delved deeper into conversation, we discovered shared interests, dreams, and a mutual love for adventure. Adam's impulsive nature quickly became apparent, and I found it utterly captivating. He told me stories of last-minute trips, spontaneous road adventures, and how he cherished living life to the fullest. "I've always believed that life's too short to waste on waiting," Adam said with a mischievous grin. "We should seize the moment and make the most of every opportunity." His words resonated with me, igniting a fire within my own heart. It was as if he had unlocked a dormant part of me, encouraging me to embrace life's adventures with open arms. As the evening drew to a close, Adam leaned in and whispered, "Kathy, I can't deny the connection we have. Would you be willing to take a chance on me?" My heart skipped a beat, and without hesitation, I smiled and replied, "Adam, I believe in the magic of the unexpected. Let's embark on this adventure together." And just like that, our love story began, brimming with excitement, passion, and the promise of a lifetime of happiness. We couldn't have known what lay ahead, but in that moment, everything felt perfect. As I look back on those early days, I realize that love often finds us when we least expect it. It sweeps us off our feet and carries us into uncharted territories, where we discover the depths of our own strength and resilience. Little did I know that the impulsive nature that drew me to Adam would also bring about trials and tribulations. Every day was an adventure with Adam by my side. He had an uncanny ability to surprise me with grand gestures, each one leaving me breathless with excitement. From impromptu weekend getaways to secret candlelit dinners under the stars, he knew just how to keep the magic alive. One sunny afternoon, I came home from work to find a trail of rose petals leading me through the house. The sweet scent filled the air as I followed the path, anticipation building with each step. It led me to our backyard, where Adam stood, a mischievous smile on his face. "Surprise, my love!" he exclaimed, holding up 2 plane tickets. "We're jetting off to Paris tomorrow, just you and me, exploring the city of love." I was speechless, my heart overflowing with joy. "Adam, this is incredible! How did you—" He chuckled, wrapping his arms around me. As we strolled along the streets of Paris, hand in hand, Adam's spontaneity continued to amaze me. We explored the historic landmarks, indulged in delectable pastries at quaint cafes, and shared stolen kisses beneath the Eiffel Tower. It was a dream come true, and I couldn't have asked for a more perfect partner to experience it all with. One evening, as we sat on a cozy park bench overlooking the Seine River, I turned to Adam with a wide smile. "Adam, how did we get so lucky? Our love feels like pure magic." He gazed into my eyes, his own filled with tenderness. "Kathy, love has a way of finding us when we least expect it. And when it does, it's our responsibility to cherish and nurture it." His words resonated deep within me, reminding me of the beauty that surrounded us. In that moment, I realized that our love was a precious gift, one that required constant attention and appreciation. As we basked in the enchantment of our Parisian getaway, I couldn't help but feel like the luckiest woman in the world. Our love's blissful bubble shielded us from the realities of the outside world, allowing us to revel in the joy of each other's presence. Little did I know that the bubble would eventually burst, revealing the complexities and challenges that lay beneath the surface. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I began to notice a growing tension between Adam and his younger sister, Rachel. Their relationship was marred by frequent arguments and bitter quarrels. Rachel was a spirited and independent young woman, fiercely determined to carve her own path in life. However, her aspirations often clashed with Adam's impulsive nature, leading to clashes that reverberated through our family gatherings. One evening, we gathered at Adam and Rachel's parents' house for a birthday celebration. The air was thick with anticipation and the scent of freshly baked cake. The room buzzed with laughter and conversation, creating an illusion of harmony. Rachel's excitement reached its peak when her parents presented her with a beautifully wrapped gift. Her eyes widened, and she eagerly tore open the packaging, revealing the keys to a brand new car. Gasps of surprise filled the room, followed by congratulatory cheers and applause. Rachel's face lit up with joy, her smile radiant. It was a moment of celebration, and I couldn't help but share in her happiness. However, as my gaze shifted towards Adam, I noticed his expression darkening. A furrow formed on his brow, and his lips pressed into a thin line. It was an unfamiliar sight, as his impulsive nature had always embraced moments of joy and celebration. Confused, I leaned in closer and whispered, "Adam, what's wrong? Why aren't you happy for Rachel?" Adam let out a frustrated sigh, his eyes never leaving his sister. "Kathy, it's not about her. It's about fairness. Why does she always get the extravagant gifts while I'm left feeling overlooked?" I tried to reason with him, gently touching his arm. "Adam, you already have a car, and your parents might have different reasons for their decisions. It's important to understand their perspective." He shrugged my hand off, his voice tinged with frustration. "You just don't get it, Kathy. It's not fair. I deserve to be recognized too." And with those words, the tension in the room heightened, casting a shadow over the joyous occasion. It became evident that there was a deeper-rooted issue between Adam and his sister, one that couldn't be easily resolved. As time went on, I became the mediator, attempting to bridge the divide between Adam and Rachel. I organized family outings, hoping that shared experiences would heal the rift. But despite my efforts, their arguments persisted, often escalating into heated confrontations that left us all feeling drained and disheartened. One evening, as we sat around the dinner table, the conversation took a turn towards a familiar argument. Voices grew louder, emotions heightened, and it felt like the walls were closing in on us. "Rachel, can't you see how your choices affect all of us?" Adam's voice trembled with anger. Rachel shot back, her eyes ablaze with defiance. "Adam, you don't understand what it's like to fight for your dreams. It's not about you, it's about me and what I need." Their words clashed like swords, and I found myself caught in the middle, desperately seeking common ground. But in that moment, it felt like an insurmountable task. Life had become a delicate balancing act, navigating the tensions between Adam and his sister, Rachel. But amidst the storm, a significant event loomed on the horizon: Adam's birthday. Little did I know that this day would bring about unexpected twists and turns, challenging the fragile equilibrium within our family. As Adam's birthday approached, I was determined to make it a memorable celebration. I planned a small family party, inviting our loved ones to gather and share in the joyous occasion. The house was adorned with decorations, and the aroma of his favorite dishes filled the air. As the guests arrived, excitement mingled with anticipation. We exchanged warm greetings and heartfelt wishes, basking in the atmosphere of love and togetherness. It was a moment of unity, a respite from the simmering tensions that had plagued our family. As the evening unfolded, laughter echoed through the rooms, punctuated by snippets of conversation. Adam wore a smile, seemingly enjoying the festivities. But little did we know, a storm was brewing within him, ready to unleash its fury. As the time for gift-giving approached, Adam's eyes darted expectantly from one present to another. His anticipation hung in the air, mingling with the scent of freshly baked cake. The room held its breath as his parents presented him with a modestly wrapped gift. Adam's face fell, his smile fading into disappointment. He tore open the package, revealing a set of books he had been eyeing for some time. While his parents and I applauded the thoughtful gift, I could see a flicker of resentment in his eyes. "Why didn't you get me something more significant?" Adam's voice quivered with frustration, his disappointment palpable. His parents exchanged glances, their expressions filled with a mix of sadness and understanding. His mother took a deep breath, her voice gentle yet firm. "Adam, we understand your desire for a grand gesture, but we have limited means. We wanted to give you something meaningful, something that aligns with your passions." Adam's frustration boiled over, his voice rising in pitch. "But Rachel got a brand new car on her birthday. Why can't I have something equally special?" His father interjected, his tone calm yet tinged with sorrow. "Son, your sister had just entered adulthood and she needed a car. We had to consider practicality and our financial situation. We hope you understand." Adam's face flushed with anger, his voice trembling. "Understand? How can I understand when I'm treated as second best? It's not fair." Tension thickened in the room, suffocating the once happy atmosphere. I exchanged worried glances with the guests, silently pleading for a resolution, a way to bridge the gap that was widening between us. But before anyone could respond, Adam stormed out of the house, leaving us all stunned and bewildered. The air grew heavy with unspoken words as we grappled with the aftermath of his outburst. I felt a knot tighten in my stomach, realizing that this incident was a culmination of unresolved conflicts and unmet expectations. Our family's unity was on the line, and it became clear that we were facing a breaking point. The echoes of Adam's outburst on his birthday reverberated through our lives, leaving behind a sense of unease and unresolved tension. The storm clouds of our family's discord loomed ominously, and as time passed, the cracks in our relationships deepened. Days turned into weeks, and the unease within our family grew palpable. Adam's resentment simmered beneath the surface, his disappointment at what he perceived as unequal treatment burning like a dormant fire. Rachel, too, felt the weight of the tension, unable to shake the guilt that came with the extravagant gifts she had received. One evening, as I sat with Adam in the quiet of our living room, I mustered the courage to address the underlying issue. I knew that our love, our marriage, and our family hung in the balance. "Adam," I began, my voice steady but filled with concern, "we need to talk about what happened on your birthday. The resentment and anger are tearing us apart." Adam's gaze fixed on a spot on the floor, his silence speaking volumes. After a moment, he sighed, his voice tinged with vulnerability. "Kathy, it's not fair. I love my sister, but it feels like I'm always overlooked, like my own achievements and desires don't matter." I reached out and gently took his hand, my touch a lifeline of reassurance. "Adam, I understand how you feel. But remember, love is not a competition. It's about supporting each other and celebrating each other's successes. Your parents had their reasons for the choices they made, even if they might not have been what you expected." Adam's shoulders sagged, a mixture of frustration and resignation evident on his face. "I know, but it's hard to let go of these feelings. I don't want to feel like I'm always second best." Our conversation lingered in the air, unresolved, but with a glimmer of understanding. It was clear that we needed to address the expectations and perceptions that had driven us apart. A few weeks later, I found myself sitting with Rachel over a cup of coffee, the weight of our strained relationship heavy in the air. The time had come to bridge the divide between us, to find common ground and mend the fractures that threatened to break us apart. "Rachel, I want you to know that I care about you, and I want our family to heal," I said, my voice filled with sincerity. Rachel's eyes welled up with tears, her voice soft but filled with remorse. "Kathy, I never meant for things to turn out this way. I never wanted my gifts to cause such discord. I just wanted to pursue my dreams and be recognized for my achievements." I reached across the table, offering her a comforting hand. "Rachel, your dreams and achievements are valid and important, but let's also remember that Adam deserves love and recognition too. We need to find a way to support and uplift each other, rather than allowing jealousy and resentment to consume us." A spark of hope flickered in Rachel's eyes as she nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You're right, Kathy. We need to change our perspectives, to see beyond our own expectations and understand the struggles and desires of each family member." With that newfound understanding, we made a pact to work towards healing our fractured relationships. It was a long and arduous journey, one filled with difficult conversations, shared vulnerabilities, and a commitment to empathy. In the midst of our family's fragile attempts to heal and reconcile, a shocking incident would unfold, leaving us stunned and fearful for the safety of our loved ones. It was a quiet evening when I found myself sitting at home with my mother-in-law, Elizabeth. The house felt eerily still, the weight of unresolved tensions lingering in the air. Our attempts at rebuilding had been met with both progress and setbacks, leaving us in a delicate state of uncertainty. Suddenly, the shrill ring of the telephone pierced through the silence, jolting us from our thoughts. Elizabeth's face tightened with apprehension as she answered the call, her trembling hand bringing the device to her ear. I watched anxiously as she pressed the speakerphone button, a mix of fear and curiosity coursing through my veins. As the voice on the other end of the line crackled to life, my heart sank at the sound of Sarah, Adam's sister, screaming and struggling. Confusion and panic washed over me, and I gripped the edge of my seat, unable to comprehend the situation unfolding before us. Elizabeth's face contorted with a mix of horror and determination as she listened to the chaotic sounds emanating from the phone. With a steely resolve, she turned to me, her voice filled with urgency. "Kathy, this is Sarah. Adam has gone to her house, and it sounds like he's attacking her. We need to do something." My mind raced, the gravity of the situation sinking in. Without hesitation, I reached for my phone, my fingers trembling as I dialed 911. As I relayed the address and the desperate plea for help, time seemed to both stand still and rush forward, my heart pounding in my chest. Hours passed, filled with a torrent of worry and anticipation. The weight of uncertainty hung heavy, casting a dark cloud over our lives. We clung to hope, praying that Sarah would emerge from this ordeal unharmed and that Adam would find the help he so desperately needed. Finally, the phone rang, breaking the suffocating silence that had enveloped the room. Sarah's voice trembled as she spoke, gratitude and relief laced within her words. She thanked me for calling the police, recounting the harrowing details of Adam's violent outburst and expressing her immense gratitude for our intervention. As we hung up the phone, a mix of emotions swirled within me. Relief washed over me like a cool wave, but it was accompanied by a profound sense of sadness and loss. The reality had set in that the person I had once loved, the man I had shared a life with, had succumbed to the darkness within him, causing harm to those closest to us. In the weeks that followed, our lives became entangled in the aftermath of the incident. Legal proceedings began as Adam was held accountable for his actions. The weight of the truth settled heavily upon our family, and we grappled with the pain of betrayal and the overwhelming sense of what could have been. Through the storm of emotions, a newfound strength emerged within me. I realized that the shocking incident had served as a wake-up call, illuminating the reality that I, too, could have been a victim of Adam's volatile nature. It was a painful realization, but one that ultimately allowed me to find the courage to face the truth and prioritize my own well-being. The weight of the truth settled upon our family as Adam faced the consequences of his actions. Legal proceedings began, and the courtroom became a battleground of emotions where justice sought to prevail. As I sat in the courtroom, a mix of trepidation and determination coursed through me. It was a moment of reckoning as the truth unfolded before the judge and jury, exposing the depth of Adam's violent outburst and the impact it had on our lives. The courtroom was filled with tension, the air thick with anticipation. Witnesses took the stand, their voices trembling as they shared their accounts of that fateful day. Among them was Sarah, whose resilience and courage were nothing short of inspiring. During a recess, I found myself sitting beside Sarah, offering support in the face of the daunting proceedings. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, but a flicker of strength burned within them. "Thank you, Kathy," Sarah said, her voice filled with gratitude. "If it weren't for you, things could have been much worse. You were there for me when I needed it the most." I reached out and gently squeezed her hand, a gesture of solidarity and compassion. "Sarah, we're family, and family supports each other through the darkest of times. I couldn't stand idly by when you needed help." A small smile tugged at the corners of Sarah's lips. "You're right. It's through these challenges that we find our true strength and the courage to stand up for what's right." The trial pressed on, the evidence mounting against Adam. The prosecution presented a compelling case, weaving together testimonies and irrefutable facts that painted a clear picture of his guilt. As the verdict was announced, a hushed silence fell over the courtroom. Adam was sentenced to 2 years in prison, a consequence that reflected the severity of his actions and the need for rehabilitation. It was a bittersweet moment, as justice had been served, but the scars left behind would take time to heal. In the aftermath of the trial, I found solace in knowing that Sarah was safe and that justice had been upheld. It was a step towards closure, but the journey towards rebuilding our lives had only just begun. Over time, I discovered a newfound strength within myself. The traumatic events had awakened a resilience I never knew existed. I resolved to take control of my own life, to prioritize my well-being, and to break free from the cycle of violence that had ensnared us. With the support of loved ones and professional guidance, I embarked on a path of healing and self-discovery. Therapy became a crucial tool in unpacking the emotional weight I carried, allowing me to process the trauma and regain a sense of empowerment. As the wounds slowly mended, I focused on rebuilding my life and forging a brighter future. I realized that the strength I had found within myself could inspire others, serving as a beacon of hope for those who had experienced similar hardships. In time, Sarah and I formed an unbreakable bond, united by shared experiences and a determination to rise above adversity. Together, we advocated for domestic violence awareness, supporting organizations that provided resources and refuge for survivors. Through the darkness, we discovered the power of our voices. Our shared journey became a catalyst for change, inspiring others to find their own strength and stand up against the cycle of abuse.